All right, here we are at Sennen Cove. Just launched the SIB here. It's mid-April and wow, just look at the weather that we've got today. It is stunning out here. I've come down with this boat in the van thinking, right, we've got 48 hours of really prime conditions for fishing down here on this part of the coast. Light northeasterly winds, building tides, the water temperatures are up. Anything can happen down here. You can literally catch anything, and if you put in the time, you're going to get rewarded down here. What we're going to do, we're going to get close to the reef here. We'll just have a cast, see if we can get on some fish straight away here. I do want to head out to the long ships today though. I'm just waiting. I've come down later in the day because it was windy this morning. The wind's dropping off this evening, and then by tomorrow, tomorrow morning, first light, there should be no wind at all. That's fingers crossed anyway. That's what the weatherman says, and he often lies to me, but hopefully he's right this time. You've got to be a little bit careful in around here because it's high tide now, and these rocks, they can really creep up on you. But hey, let's look. We're in 15 meters of water. It's a nice depth. Whoops, sorry, whacked you guys there. Got reef there. Let's chuck out a crazy paddle tail, 15 grams, and just have a little look in the calm stuff here. Let's see if there's anything, any bass in around here. Always worth a try before heading out. It doesn't actually look too bad out there. We could probably head straight out to long ships now, but I just wanted to wait and just sort of get an idea of what the conditions are doing. No swell, which is really nice. Down here you get massive swell. After south westerly, southerly gusts, you get big swell down here, but we've had easterlies, so we're doing all right. It's nice and calm. Oh yeah, fish on. That's a good fish. Oh yeah, I thought there might be something in here. Oh, I think this is a bass. He's coming up high. This is a decent fish actually. Oh yes, that did not take long. It's literally my third cast. Woohoo! That's a decent bass right there. Oh yeah, just looks perfect for bass right now. There's a swell gently breaking over the rocks with a bit of tide. Let's just leader this one. He might come off, but I'm never gonna swing one of these in the boat because of these spines that can be pretty lethal to an air deck. But there we go, that would be a keeper. He's about 45, 46, maybe a little bit more. Perfect hookup, stunning bass. Let's put him back. Woo! You just knew that was going to happen. All right, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon and the wind is just starting to drop off as it was forecast to. So I think now is as good a time as any to head out towards the long ships and spend a couple hours out there this evening on some big lure gear, see if we can get amongst some pollock and who knows what else. But yeah, we're about a mile off from Sennen right now. Just sort of been gauging the wind. It's a bit more important to do so on a smaller boat like this one here, this 3.4 meter. It's a much lighter, narrower, sort of shallower boat than the Maelstrom that I'm usually on. On the Maelstrom, I'd just be straight out there. I wouldn't give a damn. But I'm feeling confident. Let's get out there. We are about a mile from the long ships lighthouse. But there is reef everywhere around here. I mean, if you just take a look at our avionics, it's just reef popping up everywhere. It's just great fishing ground. And I'm going to start off with a big crazy paddle tail. This is a 55 gram head on my nice light spinning outfit. And I know this works here, guys. I know the pollock will smash this. So we'll drop that down first. Let's see if we can get a few fish to the boat. And then once we've got a bit of confidence, we'll move over to the jigging gear. There's still quite a bit of tide pushing through at the moment, so soft plastics tend to work a bit better in my experience when the tide's ripping, because you don't need to be in direct contact with them to work. As long as you're sort of keeping them away from the bottom and moving them a bit, they're going to catch fish. Whereas jigs, you really got to be sort of straight down in touch with them. So we're just coming up on the reef now. I always have my Garmin on when I'm doing these sort of drifts, just to know when the reef's coming up, just so I can get that lure away from a snag. And you know what? I've actually found 55 grams. We're in 40 meters of water here, 44 meters, and I've got 13 strand braid on at the moment, and it's such a game changer going down to this really thin 13 strand light braid, because it's thinner diameter and just as strong. I mean, this is what, 28 pound, something like that, P 1.2 I believe. Because it's really sort of thin, smooth braid, it sinks so quickly, and I'm getting down no problem right now. That 55 gram soft plastic is down in 45 meters, working just fine. So let's see if we can get on some pollock here. I'm hoping they're going to be around. They usually are on this bit of reef, and if they're not in the deeper water, well, we move over to the shallow water and see if we can find them there. All right, well, we're coming up real close to the longships now, and there's quite a few fish marking down there. I don't think it's going to take us long. Ooh, we don't want to tip wrap right now. Yeah, just gonna work that lure nice quick down there. Come on. And there's plenty of fish. They're all going crazy down there. I think they're actually following the lure because they're coming well up in the water. Come on. Yep. Oh, you missed one then. If you miss a bite like that, just drop it down again. Okay, yep, there's a fish. That's a better one. That's a nice heavy fish. Yep. Woohoo! Look at that rod hooped over. Yeah, baby. That's a nice heavy pollock right there. I have to kneel down for this one. I'm gonna take this one nice and slow. Ooh, nice and slow. I'm gonna put all these fish back today. I'm gonna only keep one small fish for dinner tonight. We don't want any of these big boys. I want them to go back. Loads of fish showing on the reef down there. It's a good sign. Oh man, pollock just looks so cool when they come up. Those bronze colours from down in the depths. Unmistakable. Yeah, that's a nice big one. Oh, it just got me soaking wet. Oh, slab pollock. Oh, just got to be a little bit careful when you're putting your hand in your mouth. Swallowed that lure, didn't he? They were competing. Oh, they were competing for it down there. Nice big bronze slab. Look, they go straight back when you take your time. Wind them in nice and slow. They got really good chance of going back. Look at all those fish down there on the sounder. It's alive right now. Probably won't take us long to get into another one. I'm going to do a little bit of pollock fishing today, or this evening, as we've not got loads of time. Just going to get a few to the boat, and then we'll try and set up on a deeper drift with some jigs. Just had to have a go at getting on them out here. What we don't want to do is drift into all of that confused water out there, because that's going to be pretty uncomfortable on this sib. I can't believe we're the only ones out here this evening though. It is like perfect conditions for it. Yup. Oh no, I can't tell what's going on here. This might just be a really big fish. I thought he was in a snag. Ah, it came off. I could not tell what was going on there, guys. That was a decent fish, I think. I thought it was in a snag at first, but I think it was just a really good pollock. Sometimes you know, those double figure fish, when you wind into them, they can just feel like dead weight. Just boom, your rod tip's just staying down and they're not moving. And then other times they take off. Well guys, I've treated myself to a new rod this year. It's actually like a purpose jigging rod. I've just got it paired up with a little fixed spool, and yeah, I just fancy doing a bit more jigging this year. I fish a lot with soft plastics because they're just, you know, they're very, very effective lures, but it's time to give the metals a try. Let's have a go. I sort of fancy getting one of these jigging rods because you just sort of, you see people on a decent fish with a jigging rod and that rod's just hooped over. You know, it's what I'm all about, fishing light with lures. So let's see if it lives up to the hype. I've got an 80-gram jig on. We're in 50 meters and we're going to come up onto the reef soon. Just going to flutter that jig around down there, get it moving nicely whilst we sample some pork pies. Now, usually I'd like a pasty, but they weren't available, so we got to make do with a pork pie. They're not that bad, are they? That's a good thing about fishing in deep water. When you're dropping down, you've got enough time for a snack. One thing I will say about fishing on this light sib, the air deck, when we're in this confused water here, I'm not standing up. That's just a recipe for disaster. I can see myself just stacking it, ending up in the water, separated from the boat. Just a disaster waiting to happen. So when we're in this sort of like choppy, stirred up water, I'm either sat on my tubes or kneeling on the deck, and at least with an air deck, it's quite a comfortable surface to be kneeling on. All right, I gotta sit down. We're getting into a bit of lumpy water here. Whew, that thing bends. Oh my goodness. What a nice evening to be out on the fish. We've got a pollock on here. So many fish marking on the sounder right now. Whoa. Yeah, another pollock. Whoa. Sometimes when they see the boat, they'll just take off like that. Man, that's a good size fish. Crazy how much. Whoa. Yeah, it's crazy. These light jigging rods, they make really light work out of a decent sized fish. Like on a spinning rod, this one would have felt like an absolute unit. There we go. Just take a look at that sunset, guys. It is the perfect evening to be out here on the Sib. Not a breath of wind, not another boat in sight. I could stay out here for hours happily, but the sun is almost set and I want to make it back in to Sanding Cove before it's dark. It's going to make everything a lot easier when I have to wheel the boat up the beach. So this has been a good little taster of what's to come tomorrow. We've sort of had a couple of hours, some bass, pollock, off to a good start, and sort of a warm-up session, if you like. All right, let's get back to the slipway. All right, the Sib is set up behind us here. Let's just take a quick look at how I've got it rigged for this adventure. So it's a 3.4 meter C Pro air deck with a 9.8 Parson 4-stroke on the back, and yeah, got it fully rigged up today for sort of like a heavy fishing. We got the seat, the Garmin, and then all the gear up in the bow there, just to try and balance the weight out. And then I got a couple of rods stashed down the side, and we'll move them over to the rod holders. And got big launch wheels on this guy, and we're going to need them on this slipway. One thing I will say, if you're planning on doing a Sib launch here, is it's extremely steep, this slipway. Just take a look at it behind me here. It's about as much as I can manage on my own, this boat. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you're going to come here. It is a difficult one to get down. Well, you can let it go down, but it's pulling it back up again at the end. That's where the hard part comes. There's something pretty special about this time in the morning. It's just getting light and no one else is awake. Take a look at the water today. It's glassy calm, just what we want for this Sib. So I'm sort of in two minds as to what to do today. Do I go back out to long ships, fish the ground that I know, or do I go and try a new bit of reef over towards Cape Cornwall and have an explore? I'm leaning towards that because it's so calm right now. I'm sort of leaning towards go and explore this area of reef over there. I mean, there's so much reef here, but over there, a couple miles away, and then work back towards Sennen. I mean, if it's the wind's supposed to pick up around midday, we might get out to Longships, but I think we might go and have a look at the bit of reef over by Cape Cornwall and see what we can get on at first light. Anything can happen today, guys. I've never fished this bit of reef that we're on right now before. It's somewhere in between Cape Cornwall and the Longships lighthouse. We're in 40 odd meters of water, so nice depth coming up to a bit of reef. Let's see what's living on it. It's only a little one, but pretty cool species to start off on. Only a little baby one, but ling. Yeah, it's a tiny ling, tiny little ling, but super cool fish to catch. Well, sun is rising now and it's finally starting to warm up a bit. The first reef that I fished here was a bit slow. I didn't see a whole lot showing on the sounder, and just the one ling and a couple of small wrasse. So it's got potential to hold good fish, looking at the ground on the Garmin, but there's just not a whole lot of activity going on here right now. So we're gonna carry on down towards Cape Cornwall now, and there's a whole lot of reef down there that I'm sure we'll be holding some fish now. So let's get down there and see what we can find. Oh, look at that rod. Oh, got to tighten up on that drag. It's such a light rod. Sort of feel like I got to loosen up on the drag, but I'm so used to fishing with fast action spinning rods like that, it feels unusual to use like the whole bend in the rod. Whew. That's a decent fish though, I think. Yeah. Smoke the jig. Whew. This one's got some fight in it. Oh yeah. What have we got? He's hiding under the boat. Ah, big old pollock. Yo, look at that. What a slab. Oh, there's so many fish down there right now. This was a good shout coming over here actually today, I think. Whew. That's a slab right there, guys. Big old pollock. Ah, nailed that jig. Nice pink jig. Ah, look at that, it goes straight back. Took our time with the fish on the way up, and yeah, it's nice to see them swim back like that. And just getting sort of patches. There's just this one long reef that runs all along here, and the fish are just in little patches. So you sort of drift 100 meters and there'll be fish for like that 100 meters, and then for like 300 meters there's not a lot, according to the Garmin at least. So yeah, that's what we're on today. But for the slow jig, all I'm doing is just getting it down to the bottom and just sort of just doing this nice long draws with the rod, trying not to get too many line wraps. Nice long draws, just trying to get that jig moving as much as possible, just off the bottom. Every now and then winding up a little bit. Oh, there we go, that one hit it on the wind up. Yep. Oh. Just sort of finding the depth that works. Just be a wrasse or something like that. It's not fighting like a pollock. You know, pollock will usually take a huge run at the start. No, it is a pollock. It's just a small one. Just a little one. Little tiny one. They're really good condition fish at the moment though. Full of food, full of bait. I don't know what they're eating. Probably mackerel or herring or sand eel. There's probably a lot of small sand eel around actually this time of year in April. So look, you can almost see it there, like a patch of nothing and then a patch of fish. Right, it's around 9 o'clock in the morning now, and I've finally figured out a really nice drift along these rocks here, where we're starting off in a bit of shallow water, and I'm working with a black minnow. That one right there, and then as we drift in to the deeper water, we're switching over on the jigging rod to the vibe, the squid vibe, and that is proving to be a good little combo there, because we've got the sort of 20-meter ranges covered with the black minnow, where we're getting pollock and wrasse, and then dropping into the deeper water to find who knows what. But it's working really nicely along here. There's not really any wind, just working with the tide. Yeah, we're doing well at the moment. Check it out guys, we have caught another ling. So I've come into a bit of deeper water again now, just to see what I could find. Oh, this is a better one. There we go. How's that? Beauty. I mean, still fairly small for a ling, but hey, they're getting bigger. Love to see these guys on the squid imitation there. Yeah, look at that. On that nice squid vibe. Whew. Hey, just look at that, nice ling. Probably about sort of £8 maybe, not quite double figure, and of course they can get much bigger than that, but it's nice to see them. I don't catch many ling at all on the sib. He took both hooks and really far in. Yeah, I don't get many ling on my sib just because I don't usually fish many wrecks, and usually ling caught over wrecks, so it's really nice to get some over the reef today. Lovely stuff. Nice big ling. Sliding back, hopefully they'll swim off. Yeah, good stuff. All right, see what we can get next. Well, this is a first for me. The pollock's not actually hooked. He's somehow hooked himself on the line clip. The lure is here, and yeah, he's somehow gone through the line clip, and the line clip, well, it's almost like he's clipped on like a lure. I've never seen that before. How does that even happen? Check this one out guys. Every now and then when you're fishing down here with lures, you hook into an absolute monster of a ballon wrasse. I honestly thought this was a decent pollock the way it was fighting, but it's actually a really big ballon. Take a look at it. I try and lip him here. Really big fish. Oh, hoo, hoo, hoo. That's a monster ballon wrasse. Check that out. Phenomenal catch. I'd hate to even guess how big that is, but stunning fish. Look at the markings on it. Oh my goodness. Really cool fish to catch down here. We'll just pop his bladder there. Yeah, check that out. What a stunner. Big old Ballon wrasse down here. There's we'll put him back. Yeah, there's some real big ones that lurk in the reefs around here, and even though I don't really target them here, it's just an inevitable bycatch when you're fishing with lures. So unfortunately at this point my microphone died, but as we're heading back towards the slipway at Sennen, we see a load of birds feeding on the surface. And when there's birds feeding on the surface, there is always going to be bass feeding underneath them. Well, what an epic session this has been. I always expect plenty of fish and plenty of species when I come down here, but we've had bass, pollock, wrasse, mackerel and ling, 5 species on lure. Not bad. And the weather's been really nice for April, lovely and warm. Hopefully much more of that to come. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like and let me know in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one very soon. I think we've got to get on the bass next, guys. All right, cheers for watching.